Hi everyone, let's talk about NXT Deadline, which I thought was a fun show. Let's talk about it. So we had Ricky Saints versus Obafemi for the NXT Championship, and Obafemi regained the NXT Championship. Let's talk about it, guys. The bell rings, and Obafemi tosses Saints across the ring, and they peer the lockup and try to turn, wearing one another down with submission holds. But Obafemi catches Ricky Saints with a delay backbreaker, and Ricky Saints responds by walking the top rope and delivering an axe handle to Obafemi off it, then connects with a series of chop blocks on his knee and a chop on his spine. Then Ricky Saints connects with a dropkick on Obafemi off the rope, but Obafemi catches him with a gorilla press and sends Ricky Saints crashing back into the mat once again with a Tuplex, and then he fires up right hands and left hands on Ricky Saints into the corner of the ring and shows off by doing a few push-ups and then wears down Ricky Saints' arm with a submission hold, and then Ricky Saints connects with a back elbow on Obafemi into the corner and walks the top rope once again, then lands a diving hooker, also again a Hurricane Karana on Olafemi and follows it up with a spear, then goes for a pin, but Olafemi kicks out and rocks Ricky Saints with a right hand, and Olafemi then sets up for a disgust lariat. Also again a disgust lariat on Ricky Saints, but Ricky Saints sees him coming and counters into a neck breaker. Then Ricky Saints launches into a Camaro lock on Obafemi, but Obafemi powers up to his feet to Ricky Saints, launches it in even tighter on him and brings it in back down to his knees. And Obafemi once again powers back up to his feet before Ricky Saints sends Obafemi crashing out of the ring. And the ref begins the count of 10, and Obafemi beats it. But Ricky Saints immediately catches it with a famous sir and goes for a pin. And Obafemi kicks out. Then Ricky Saints and Olafemi exchange right hands with another, but Olafemi sends Ricky Saints crashing into the ring apron, spine first, and Ricky Saints responds by delivering a tornado DDT to Olafemi that sends him crashing into the ring steps, then lands a second one on him off the ropes back in the ring and goes for a pin. And Olafemi kicks out and catches Ricky Saints with a powerbomb, then goes for a pin of his own, but Ricky Saints kicks out, and Obafemi then delivers a sit-out powerbomb to Ricky Saints for the win, and that's how Obafemi became the new NXT champion again, and he's the NXT champion once again, guys. Then after the match, Ricky Saints extends his hand to Obafemi, and Obafemi shakes it, and then the two-man stand in the ring in a few moments as they shared their respect for one another and give it up to Obafemi and Ricky Saints. I'm telling you, I like that match. I don't care what anybody says, but I loved it. Oh man. Then then we had the women's Iron Survivor match. Oh man, I couldn't believe that Kendall Gray won this. And give it up to Kendall Gray for her. Give it up to her. I can't wait for next week. Oh man, I can't wait for next week for New Year's Eve. I'll watch that later on tonight. What happened on NXT? But you guys can put questions down below and stuff about NXT. Like you know, the other dude was here that my buddy from X was on here. One of these days he was on here and talking about that. So I appreciate him for stopping by that day and stuff. So but let's carry and talk about this match, guys. So we had Jordan. Also again, we had Jordan Grace and Ken. Also again, we had Jordan Grace and Kalani Jordan and Kendall Gray and Loa Vice and Soruka in this match. And I was going with Loa Vice, but it didn't happen, guys. But let's talk about it. So the bell rings, and Kalani Jordan and Kendall Gray go back and forth with one another, and they take turns at trying to officially pin one another. But Jordan levels Gray with a dropkick to her chest, and Gray then straps Jordan for the apron before the pair takes turn pinning one another and once again reverse each other's fall. Then Jordan whips Gray into the corner and delivers a neck breaker to her, and she pins her twice, but Gray kicks out both times and catches Jordan with a sling blade, and Jordan responds with a flipping leg drop out of the corner and pins Gray, but Gray kicks out, and Jordan then looks to fly off the rope and once again and levels Gray, but Gray catches Jordan with a power slam and pins her to score a point, and that's how Gray got 1 point. Then then Jordan Grace is next in the ring as Kalani Jordan heads to the penalty and she catches Kendall Gray with a pair of back elbows and a sling bread, and she follows it up with a fader bomb out of the corner and pins Gray, but Gray kicks out. Then Jordan re-enters the ring and delivers a jawbreaker to Jordan Grace before herself and Kendall Gray tried to pin one another once again, and Kendall Gray slings an ankle lock on Jordan, but Jordan managed to pin Gray to score a pin, and it's 1-1. One for Jordan and one for Grace. And then, excuse me, then Grace, I'll say it again, guys. Grace enters the penalty box as Jordan and Grace brawl with one another in the ring, and Jordan delivers a brave face buster. I'll say it again, a face buster to Grace and pins her, but Grace kicks out and catches Jordan with a lariat onto the outside as Jordan is released from the penalty box, and Jordan then flies off the top rope and then levels Grace onto the outside, and Lola Vice is up next, and then she delivers a right hand to Kalani Jordan in mid section, and she fires off roundhouse kicks on Jordan Grace and Kendall Gray into the ring, and then catches Kendall Gray with a kick to her midsection as Kendall Gray looks to fly off the ropes, and then she pins Kendall Gray to score a point. And then Gray got one, and Jordan got one, and Lola Vice got one. Then Grace heads into the penalty box once again, but Lola Vice pins Grace, and Grace pins out as Kendall Gray re-enters the match and delivers a suplex to Kalani Jordan, and Jordan Grace then pins Kendall Gray, but Kendall Gray reverses the pinfall to score another pin, and Kendall Gray got two, and Kalani Jordan got one, and Lola Vice got one. Then Grace heads to the penalty box as I'll say it again. Jordan Grace heads to the penalty box as Kendall Gray powerbombs Kalani Jordan off the middle rope into the mat, and Lola Vice sends Kalani Jordan crashing onto the apron, but Kendall Gray sends Kalani Jordan crashing off the ring apron with a super kick, and Jordan Grace is released from the penalty box and levels Gray with a clothesline, then takes out Gray and connects with a spine buster on her, and then she follows it up with a package powerbomb on Grace and pins her, but Grace, I'll say it again, I'll say it again, I'll say it again, guys, with a package powerbomb on Gray and pins her, but Gray kicks out, and then Grace then catches Lola Vice with a suplex and pins her, but Lola Vice kicks out, and Grace then pins Jordan to score a pin as I'll say it again, I'll say it again, and repeat it again, guys. Jordan Grace then pins Kalani Jordan to score a point as Soruka enters the ring, and Kalani Jordan straps her as she looks to fly into the ring from the apron and begins to target her leg before entering the penalty box, and Kendall Gray got two, and Kalani Jordan got one, and Lola Vice got one, and Jordan Grace got one. Then Jordan pins both Gray and Vice. I was thinking Gray and Vice into the ring, but they both kick out as Soruka is helping to the back, and Lola Vice and Kendall Gray then take turns pinning one another in the ring, and Jordan Grace runs over and Lola Vice with a shoulder tackle, and Kalani Jordan then re-enters the match and blindsides Jordan Grace with a super kick, but Kendall Gray and Lola Vice look to toss Kalani Jordan across the ring, and Kalani Jordan lands on her feet and takes them out, then delivers a Spanish fly to Jordan Grace off the apron. Then Soruka runs back down to the ring and dumps. I'll say it again, guys. I'll repeat it again. Soruka runs back down to the ring and dumps Kalani Jordan back into the ring, then delivers a double soul snatcher. I'll say it again. Soul snatcher to Lola Vice and Kalani Jordan, then pins both Kalani Jordan and Loa Vice to score 2 points. I'll say it again. Kalani Jordan and Loa Vice to score 2 points. And Kendall Gray got two, and Kalani Jordan got one, and Loa Vice got one, and Jordan Grace got one, and Soruka got two. Then Jordan and Vice both entered the penalty box as Soruka leveled Kendall Gray with a pair of back elbows, and she delivers a backbreaker to Jordan Grace as Kalani Jordan and Loa Vice brawl with one another into the penalty box, and Soruka lands a shotgun dropkick on Gray off the bottom rope, and Soruka then launches a submission hold on Kendall Gray. Then Jordan Grace turns the cinch round and cinch into a half bomb grab on Kendall Gray. Then Loa Vice and Kalani Jordan are released from the penalty box, but Loa Vice takes out Kalani Jordan with a sleeper hold and breaks the submission hold happening in the ring. And Kendall Gray then pins Loa Vice, but Loa Vice bridges her feet, and Loa Vice catches Loa Vice. I'll say it again. Soruka, Soruka catches Loa Vice with the Inzanari and flies into the ring to level Loa Vice, but Jordan Grace takes out Soruka, and Kendall Gray catches Jordan Grace with a flat lantern and pins her, but Kalani Jordan breaks the fall with a splash off the top rope, and then she pins Jordan Grace and sends her back into the penalty box. And Gray got two, Jordan got two, and Vice got one, and Grace got one, and Ruka got two at the time. And then Vice and Gray and Soruka and Kalani Jordan stare one another down, and Soruka and Kalani Jordan brawl with one another as Loa Vice and Kendall Gray do the same, but Soruka dropkicks Jordan through the bottom rope and off the apron, and connects, I'll say it again, she connects with a moonsault off the rope to level Gray and Vice on the outside, but Jordan surprised Soruka with a moonsault and dumps Loa Vice back in the ring, and Jordan then sends Loa Vice crashing into the mat off her shoulder and sets up the 450 splash on her off. I'll say it again. Sets up the 450 splash on her off the top rope, but Loa Vice offended it, and Jordan Grace re-enters the match and delivers a double suplex to both Jordan and Vice, and she sends Jordan crashing into the mat with a sit-out powerbomb and pins her for a point. Then Loa Vice then catches Kendall Gray with a spinning back heel kick to score a point of her own, and everybody got two at the on the moment. It was everybody got two. Kendall Gray got two, and Kalani Jordan got two, and Loa Vice got two at the moment, and Jordan Grace and Soruka at the time. Then Soruka delivers a soul snatcher to Vice off the apron as Jordan and Gray are released from the penalty box, and Jordan delivers a 450 splash to Vice off the top rope and pins her, but Grace breaks the fall, and Jordan straps Grace, I'll say again, Jordan Grace off the apron, and Kendall Gray delivers a cinch flat lantern to Loa Vice off the top rope. Then she pins Loa Vice into the final 5 seconds of the match and scores a point and takes home the win. And that's how Kendall Gray won in 5 seconds and pinned Loa Vice. And that's what happened right there, guys. And give it up to all the women and that Irish Survivor, man. Give it up to Kendall Gray. Give it up to Soruka. Give it up to Loa Vice. Give it up to Kendall, Kalani Jordan. Give it up to Jordan Grace. You know what I'm saying? Give it up to Kalani Jordan, like I said again, and Jordan Grace, guys. Give it up to all those women. Oh, man. Like I said again, guys, I appreciate everybody stopping in. So yeah, I appreciate my buddy coming in here. So thanks for giving those claps. I appreciate you. So then after the match, Final Influence appears on the entrance ramp, and JC Jane and Fallen Haley and Lennon Reed are staring down on Kendall Gray in the ring as Jordan. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'll repeat it again. After the match, Final Influence appears on the entrance ramp, and JC Jane and Fallen Haley and Lennon Reed stare down Kendall Gray in the ring as JC Jane hold up the NXT Women's Championship. I can't wait for that match, guys. JC Jane fences Kendall Gray next week on NXT. I can't wait for that match, guys. I can't wait for it. I don't know about you guys, but I think Kendall Gray fences JC Jane is going to be a good match for the NXT Women's Title next week on NXT New Year's Evil. So that's my thoughts on that. So, like I said again, I'm sorry. I said almost Jordan, didn't I? I was almost saying that. Then I was like, yeah, JC Jane. I talk so fast at times. But like I'll say it again. JC Jane hold up her NXT Women's Championship belt, and that's what happened right there with the stare down with her and Kendall Gray. Then Then we head over to Ever Everrain's office where Blake Monroe presents an open challenge to her women's North American Championship, which we'll talk about that later, guys. And Everrain asks Blake Monroe if she wants to do the giving that anyone can answer the call, and she's nothing like Dragunov and Sami Zayn, the whole thing with SmackDown, which we talked about that in SmackDown a few weeks ago or more. But essentially agrees and tells Blake Monroe that she wants to see what happens to her. Then we head over and see the Sarah catching up with Miles Bourne, and she asked him which spot she decides to pick. I'll say again, what's which spot he decides, side he decides to pick after winning the match on Tuesday, and Miles Bourne refused that he choose this third spot, but he heard a loud noise before the camera pans over to see Jordan Grace and Kalani Jordan brawling with one another. Then we had the match with Eden Page fences Mr. Iguana for the North American Championship. This match was fun. For what it was fun. You can ask your questions down below, guys. So the bell rings and the two lock up, and Eden Page sends Mr. Iguana crashing into the mat and runs him over with a shoulder tackle. But Mr. Iguana plays dead and straps Eden Page, and he rolls him up, but Eden Page kicks out, and Eden Page levels Mr. Iguana with a backhand, but Mr. Iguana spots into the corner and places him on his hands, then does the La Yesia bite on Eden Page's hand, but Eden Page catches Mr. Iguana with a powerbomb off the top rope and grabs the La Yesa from Mr. Iguana, and he spits in La Yesa face and throws him onto the floor, but Mr. Iguana becomes fired up and fires off chomps on Eden Page's chest, and Eden Page shoves Mr. Iguana, but Mr. Iguana delivers a Hurricane Corona into Eden Page off the middle rope and flies off the top rope and levels him onto the outside, and he dumps Eden Page back in the ring, then connects with a flying headbutt onto him off the middle rope and goes for the pin, and Eden Page kicks out, then pulls Mr. Iguana off the top rope and catches him with the swishing wrench for the win, and that's how Eden Page retained the North American title with the twist wrench, I'll say it again, the twist wrench, I'll say it again, the twitch wrench for the win, and that's how he won. Then we had Tatum Paisley fences Easy Dame. This was a good match, guys. I loved it. It was a good match. I thought Tatum Paisley should have won this match, but Easy Dame won this match. We'll talk about it right now, guys. I like the match, even though Easy Dame won it. Let's talk about it. So Nickel Fence and I'll say it again, Sean Spears and Nickel Fence stare down Tatum Paisley in the ring. The bell rings, and Easy Dame takes advantage of Tatum Paisley, resents herself of her hand to Tatum Paisley of her, then lands on, and Tatum Paisley since turns her head back up and angry looks at Dame, but Dame runs over Paisley with a boot. Then Paisley looks to fly off the ring apron, but Easy Dame stops her and tries to take advantage of her once again, and Tatum Paisley grabs onto Easy Dame's hand, and Easy Dame hugs Tatum Paisley, but Easy Dame begins smirking and sends Tatum Paisley crashing into the ring steps in midsection first, and she delivers a power slam to Tatum Paisley and back inside the ring and fires off right hands onto her one corner, then delivers a shoulder into her midsection and since the corner, and Easy Dame connects with a back breaker on Tatum Paisley and delivers her with a uppercut, then since in a Boston Crab on her, then wears her down, and Tatum Paisley then looks to fly off the ropes, but Easy Dame catches her with a drop kick and follows it up with a twisting neck breaker, and Tatum Paisley lands a suplex on Easy Dame onto the outside of the ring, then clears the announce desk and drags her up on it, and she drives her on top of it with the cycle driver, then grabs the dolls of both of herself and Easy Dame and spears, rips the head off the Tatum Paisley doll, and but Tatum Paisley slaps him when she gets in the ring, and Easy Dame is waiting with a boot and sit out powerbomb on Tatum Paisley for the win, and that's what happened, and that's how Easy Dame defeated Tatum Paisley with the sit out powerbomb on Tatum Paisley for the win, and that's what happened right there. Then we head backstage and we see Devon Evans trying to assort Ricky Saints in the men's locker room after Ricky Saints lost the NXT Championship to Oba. Well, Ricky continues to be down about the loss, and Evans reveals to him that he didn't excuse me, he didn't plan on waiting till New Year's Evil to cash in his NXT Championship match. And that's what happened right there, guys. And we'll be right back. And we'll talk about this main event for the Man's Iron Survivor. And this was a good match, guys. And I loved it, guys. It was a good match. I'll tell you, it was a very good match. And I loved it, guys. It was really good. And Devon Evans won this match. And they're having another match right now tonight. I think it's happening right now in the main event of NXT, but I got to catch up with that later. But anyways, guys, I think it's happening right now, and it's almost going to be over in probably in the next 10 to 15 minutes. So yes, guys, you can ask your questions down below and stuff. But I'll be back to talk about this NXT Deadline um main event with Devon Evans and Dion from the Dark State and Leon Slater and Devon Evans. Love that guy Dion from the Dark State. I love that dude. He's really good. But we'll talk about it here in a second when I come back. Okay, we're back, guys. Let's talk about it. So the bell rings and the two go back and forth and one another. Devon Evans connects with an Hurricanrana on Leon Slater before himself, and Devon Evans catches others boot and they look to come to shoots, but Devon Evans hangs into Leon Slater split, and Leon Slater catches Devon Evans with a pair of kicks, but Devon Evans responds with a Hurricanrana and drop kick to Leon Slater, and he pins Leon Slater, but Leon Slater kicks out. And then Leon Slater and Devon Evans then take turns pinning one another, but Devon Evans managed to deliver a reverse Hurricanrana to Leon Slater, then pins him to score a point, and Devon Evans has 1 point. Then Miles Bourne enters the match next, and he takes down Devon Evans, but Leon Slater re-enters the match and delivers a splash to Devon Evans off the top rope. And then Leon Slater and Devon Evans then brawl with one another onto the outside, but Miles Bourne flies over the top rope onto leveling them, and he dumps Devon Evans back into the ring and pins him. But Devon Evans and him go boom, 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 boom. Good stuff. I'm telling you guys, really good stuff. You know, bam, 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 bam. Really good stuff. I'm telling you, go back and forth. Really good stuff and stuff like that. And then reversals and all that great stuff. Back and forth, hitting back and forth. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying, guys, and all that great stuff. So that's what happened right there. And Miles Bourne flies off the top to dump him, and then he dumps him, and then back in the ring, and he pins him, and then but Devon Evans kicks out, and Miles Bourne then dumps Leon Slater into the ring, and then he pins him as well. And Leon Slater also kicks out, and then Devon Evans levels Leon Slater with an overhand chop, but Miles Bourne connects with a right hand to Devon Evans and pins him. And Devon Evans kicks out, but Leon Slater catches a kick from Devon Evans and uses his feet to take down Miles Bourne. Then Devon Evans then delivers a standing splash to Devon Evans and pins him, but Leon Slater kicks out, and then Devon Evans fires off a couple stomps on Miles Bourne and prepares from Leon, who is the next entrance in the match. And Dion sends Devon Evans crashing into the mat face first, but Devon Evans fires off right hands and left hands on Dion. And then Leon Slater pulls Devon Evans off Dion and follows suit, but Devon Evans pulls Leon Slater off of Dion before they both decide to fire off stomps on him. And Devon Evans and Leon Slater then teeter on the rope with Dion, but Miles Bourne pulls off Leon Slater and gets him up on his shoulders in an electric chair position. And then Dion and Miles Bourne deliver a Moonstay device to Leon Slater, but I'll say it again, I'll say it again, guys. Miles Bourne delivers a Moonstay device to Leon Slater before Dion delivers a power slam to Devon Evans, then pins him to score a point, and Dion got 1 point and Devon Evans got 1 point. As Devon Evans enters the penalty box, Miles Bourne sends Leon Slater crashing into the mat and pins him, and Miles Bourne kicks out, but Devon Evans is released from the penalty box, and he pushes Leon Slater off the ropes and delivers a top suicide to level him onto the outside, then delivers a frog splash to Miles Bourne off the top and goes for a pin, and Miles Bourne kicks out and ascends back up to the top, but Dion meets him up the ropes, and Miles Bourne pushes Devon Evans off the ropes and teeters on them with Dion as Joe Henry enters the ring, and then Joe Henry connects with a fallaway slam on Devon Evans, then delivers a double fallaway slam to Devon Evans and Leon Slater, and then Joe Henry sets up the standing ovation on Leon Slater, but Dion blindsides Joe Henry, and Joe Henry then flies over the top rope to level Devon Evans and Leon Slater and Dion and Miles Bourne onto the outside before he sets up for the standing ovation on Miles Bourne back in the ring, and Miles Bourne lands on his feet and looks to deliver a jumping bulldog onto Joe Henry and puts Joe Henry, sending Miles Bourne crashing into the mat off his shoulder with a spinning slap. I'll say it again, a spinning slam to score the pin, and that's how Evan got 1 point, and Dion got 1 point, and Joe Henry got 1 point, and then we got comments. Appreciate you. Appreciate your brother being here, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you too, man. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you. So that's what happened right there, guys, with that one. All of them got 1 point. Devon Evans and Dion and Joe Henry got 1 point. All of them are tied at the moment. Then Evans rolls up Joe Henry, but Joe Henry kicks out as Milebourne re-enters the match and Dion blindsides him with a kick while Devon Evans lands a flying kick on Joe Henry's back into the ring and Leon ascends to the top rope and connects with a 450 splash on Joe Henry. Then he pins him to score a pin, and Devon Evans got one, and Dion got one, and Joe Henry got one, and Leon Slater got one. And that's what happened right there. As Joe Henry heads to the penalty box, Miles Bourne surprised Leon Slater with a jumping bulldog from behind, and he pins him, but Dion breaks the fall before Miles Bourne delivers a jumping bulldog to Dion from behind to score a point. Then Miles Bourne got 1 point, Leon Slater's got 1 point, Joe Henry got one, and Dion got one, and Devon Evans got one right there. Then Dion sends Joe Henry crashing into the side of the penalty box, and Joe Henry is released from the penalty box and levels Devon Evans with a clothesline before Dion re-enters the match, and Devon Evans flies off the ring apron to level Dion, but also again Dion, but Leon Slater levels Joe Henry with a back heel kick, and Devon Evans then delivers a cutter to Leon Slater and follows it up with the OG cutter to him, and he goes for a pin. But Miles Bourne breaks the fall. And then Miles Bourne sends Devon Evans crashing into the mat and pins him. But Dion pulls Miles Bourne's off. Then Devon Evans to break the fall, and Leon Slater delivers a 450 splash to Devon Evans. But Joe Henry sends himself and Leon Slater crashing out of the ring, and Devon Evans then managed to roll up Miles Bourne for the win. And the winner, Devon Evans, and that's what happened, and that's how he won. I'll say it again. Devon Evans then rolls up Miles Bourne 1, 2, 3, and that's how he won the Man's Iron Survivor, guys. And that's how he defeated Dion and Joe Henry and Leon Slater and Miles Bourne. And then after the match, Devon Evans high fives Miles Bourne and looks to do the same to Dion, and Dion rolls out of the ring before he can. Then Oba then appears at ringside and is steered down Devon Evans in the ring. Then lights assistantly go out, and then a video begins playing of a person walking on a highway bridge, and then they come back on, and we see Devon Evans and Olafemi look confused, and then Tony D'Angelo is since behind Devon Evans and delivers a choke slam to Devon Evans in the ring, and then dumps, rips up and fence on him, and then stares down Olafemi on the apron, and that's what happened right there with Tony D'Angelo, which was fun, guys. And I gave this show a 9 out of 10. I really did. I gave this show a 9 out of 10. So yes, guys, I enjoyed this NXT deadline. I gave it a 9 out of 10. What's your thoughts on this NXT deadline? Put your thoughts in. I appreciate you coming in, Sergio. I appreciate you, Prince Idol, coming in. I appreciate you two coming in this video. Appreciate everybody that will watch the replay as well. So that's all I have to say as well. So that's all I have to say, guys. I appreciate you all coming in. And like I said again, I give this NXT deadline a 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10, guys. And this is CJD 2006, Christopher Jackson, Denver 2006, guys. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit those notification bells as always. And peace out and take care and much love.